Audio Jungle. Hi everyone, welcome back. Before we start today, I really feel like we all need to just take a moment and just breathe. I feel like at this time I really just want to give everyone a big virtual hug, because the last few weeks have been extremely heavy, and I really just want to send all the positive energy and prayers that I can out to the Black community at this time. I've honestly not even been in the headspace where I felt like I could even film, because my spirit has just felt so downtrodden and heavy with everything. You know, I went to the Birmingham protest, I was very vocal about things across my social media platforms, and I've written 2 pieces specifically about this on my blog as well, so I will link those in the description box below so you can have a read of those. What's been going on for the last few weeks has been absolutely heartbreaking, so before we continue I just want to say RIP to Breonna Taylor, George Floyd, Ahmaud Arbery, Belly Majinga, Mark Duggan, and all the other victims of systematic oppression and racism. And going forward, I was thinking to myself, what can I do? And in these situations, a lot of people feel completely helpless. So my advice to everyone going forward is use what you have, where you are, and use your voice to amplify and support Black businesses. And I thought to myself, Shara, what can you do to help the people in your community? I do fashion styling, and I do fashion design, and I thought, right, you need to do something from a fashion perspective. So I will be doing a 5-part series where I will be talking about Black fashion designers, Black owned fashion brands, and so on. So today's video in particular is going to focus on Black fashion designers from Birmingham. And the reason I decided to focus on Birmingham in particular is because I do feel like up north designers do get missed quite a lot, and Birmingham is the city that I'm from, so I wanted to focus on these designers, and I really want to be able to give people their flowers while they are here. And I think this is really a time where we need to be uplifting and supporting each other. So the first fashion designer I want to talk about from Birmingham is me. It makes sense that I start off this YouTube video talking about myself. I'm a fashion designer and I'm also a stylist. From the other videos you will have seen on my YouTube channel, I've really been pushing my styling because that's more of where I focus my attention now. So I actually come from a fashion design background. My fashion collection when I graduated from university was actually based on the Windrush generation that came from the Caribbean to the UK, and I was just really obsessed with the way they just looked so dapper when they arrived in the UK, and I really wanted to base my collection around that. So that was the first half of the inspiration for that collection, and the second half of the inspiration for that collection was actually Notting Hill Carnival, and I really wanted to celebrate Caribbean culture within that collection, so I also designed prints as well, and I really wanted the prints to feel really celebratory and to really embody the movement that comes with Notting Hill Carnival. And I designed with silk organza as well, and I really just wanted it to feel lively and fun and punchy. Anybody that knows me and my work knows that my work is always very colourful, always very bright, always in your face. It's kind of like Marmite, you either love it or you hate it. So I will leave a link in the description box so you can go ahead and have a look at my work more thoroughly. And just to give you a bit of an insight into other things that I've done, I've designed a red carpet dress for the Asian Awards. I've had my work featured in Elegant magazine. I've also had a regular fashion feature slot on BBC WM radio. I would have a 10-minute slot once a month on a Friday on the Richie show, and I would go in and I would talk about the hottest styles and give advice to listeners that were calling in and answer their burning fashion questions. And that was a really integral point in my life for me, and that was literally just before I left to go to London to fully pursue styling. I've designed for an emerging swimwear line in Spain. I've designed for a children's couture line. So I've done quite a lot, and sometimes I beat myself up about not achieving very much, and then my fiance always says to me, babe, just go back and read your CV and remind yourself of how much stuff that you've done. And I've also sat down with BBC News and spoken to them about mental health in fashion and how important I believe it is that we do consider the mental health of people that are in fashion. You know, we work extremely long hours. The fashion graduates don't always get the jobs that they want when they come out of fashion university, and I think it's really important that we prepare people so much more for that. And I've always been very vocal. I don't just want to be a stylist and a fashion designer, I also want to be very vocal about the things that affect us within the industry as well. And the next designer I want to speak about is Maurice Whittingham. Now, Maurice Whittingham is the OG menswear designer of Birmingham. His clothes are absolutely impeccable. He does these amazing tailored menswear pieces with a twist. His clothes are very innovative. He plays with androgyny and he has such a meticulous attention to detail. Every time I see his work, I feel like I need to kick it up a notch, and I feel like, wow, Shara, you need to go and study your craft even more. He's just so amazing and so good. And if you are looking for any military inspired pieces, any cool tailored menswear pieces, he is the go-to guy in Birmingham. And the next person I want to talk about is a very talented young lady called Alexandria Chantiluke. Her work is absolutely amazing. She's a brilliant menswear designer from Birmingham who studied at the Nottingham Trent University, and she is supremely talented. She actually based her final year collection on the Handswork riots, and I would encourage everybody to go and have a look at her work. Her work is absolutely brilliant. Just the way she's kind of combined tailoring and streetwear together, it's just very, very interesting. She's had her designs manufactured by Hawes & Curtis. She's an award-winning fashion designer. She made the Birmingham's 30 under 30 list. She's done talks with TEDx Brum. She's had her work featured in Galdem magazine, and she's also worked with me as an assistant as well, and I can honestly say she is a really, really great person to have around. I called her maybe like 2 weeks before and I said, are you interested in doing this job for me while I'm away? And she literally was just like, yep. No fuss, no excuses, no nothing. She came round, I trained her, and she went and she did that job on her own without me being there, which is very risky, by the way. And she took it on the chin, and my clients were so impressed with her. I was able to put her in a TV setting, and she didn't get flustered when she was put under pressure. She was able to alter the clothes, no problem. She has great set etiquette. She knows how to conduct herself around clients. And she's just a generally bubbly person and a really nice person to be around. And all of the designer's information I will leave in the description box below. And the next fashion designer I want to talk about is Eliett Parchment. I don't actually know this lady personally, but I actually came across her work when I was fashion assisting on a styling job at the time, and I was pulling looks for an X Factor performance, and I came across her work and I just liked it because it was just so fun. It was punchy, it had a lot of personality, and I feel like a lot of young people will love wearing her clothes. So I had a bit more of a research, and she just does these really cool satin bomber jackets and matching tracksuit bottoms and these oversized kind of bubble coats. I just love her style, and I think her stuff would look amazing in music videos. So anyone who's watching this and you need stuff for music videos, go and contact this young lady, because I definitely feel like she needs more recognition for the kind of work that she does. Now, the next person I'm going to recommend is Stephen Arthur. Listen, Stephen Arthur is one of my really, really good friends, and I met Stephen about 7 or 8 years ago when I was working at a Birmingham based magazine called Scene Birmingham, and I had to interview Stephen for a feature we were doing in the magazine, and from there we just clicked, and we've just been friends ever since. I cannot keep up with the amount of ventures that this guy does. Every time I try and call him, he's like, hi hun, I'm just packing to go to Paris. Hi hun, I'm going to Brazil tomorrow. I'm just like, can you sit down so we can catch up, please? But it's just a true testament to how much of a go-getter this guy honestly is, and I'm really honored to call him my friend. And he's designed for Azealia Banks. He has had a shop in Sweden. He's had his own store in the Birmingham Bull Ring, and I actually styled the campaign for that store. He's also just recently launched a careers platform to give careers advice, and he's also the careers consultant at Regent's University in London, and he works for Burberry. Let me tell you, this guy has like 10 things on the go at all times. Stephen just makes me just want to go at 100 miles an hour, and it's really great to be friends with someone who you are genuinely friends with in the industry, but I can also go to his studio and just play dress up, and that's literally what we've done before. I've literally gone down to his studio to catch up, and I've just played dress up in his clothes and taken pictures. And as much as I love my other friends, it is good to have a friend that just gets excited about satin and faux fur and beads just as much as you do. And every time you see Stephen, he is like swagged out to the max. I absolutely love it. Yeah, go and have a look at Stephen Arthur and his work, and shout out to my good ass friend. The next person I want to talk about is Karlus G. He has his own studio in the Jewelry Quarter, and he's really amazing at doing bespoke tailoring. So if you need anything for a wedding or a special occasion, if you need any alterations doing, Karlus is your go-to person. He will make sure things fit perfectly. He will help you choose fabric, or you can supply your own fabric, and he will go through all the steps with you to make sure you have that perfect fitted piece that you need for your occasion. And I again will link his information below, so go and check him out. And the next person I want to shout out is Cheriene Tamar. I don't know this young lady personally, but I came across her work and I just think she's very talented. She draws a lot of inspiration from African history, and her style is quite classy. She seems to do a lot of occasion wear. She's also had her work featured in British Vogue, which is absolutely incredible. And I just feel like this is a time where we should be shouting each other out and supporting each other. So I just want to say, keep going. And the next designer I want to discuss is Paulinah Eboh-Sampson. Paulinah is an award-winning fashion designer, and she's also a published stylist as well. Paulinah I met about 10, oh my gosh, I met Paulinah about 10 years ago. We both entered the Midlands Fashion Awards, which is also run by a black lady called Jenny Eason. We both met at the Midlands Fashion Awards, and it was my very first time ever making a collection. And I met Paulinah there, and you could tell she was like the seasoned designer who just knew what she was doing. So she's been running her fashion house, Dolls of Decadence, since 2010, and she's one of those designers who just knows how to make everything. She knows how to make, she does swimwear, she does occasion wear, she does women's wear, she does separate, she does everything. She goes so hard for her brand, and you can see that she's really dedicated to her craft, and I think that's really evident in all the positive reviews that you will see when you go on her Instagram page and you go on her website. You'll see reviews from customers who are just so happy with the service that she's provided for them, and that is really important, because the ultimate goal as a fashion designer is you want people to like your work, you want people to understand the message that you are trying to give out, but ultimately you want to sell clothes, you want them to feel good in them, and you want to make money. And I feel like Paulinah is someone that does that very, very well. And the final fashion designer I would like to speak about is a young lady called Latisha Augustine. I don't know this lady personally, but when I was added to the group Birmingham Creatives, I came across her work in there, and I really loved her work. She attended Birmingham City University. She has a collection called Babylon, and she based it on Rastafari culture. And she said, "My collection is inspired by the term Babylon, a word used in Rastafari culture to describe how Western society is overcome by greed and corruption through government control." That is very fitting to what is going on right now. I loved her collection because I loved the silhouette, I loved the shape, I loved the color blocking that she chose to do. I just think her work is a really great take on modern sportswear, and I really encourage people to go and have a look at her work and have a look at what she does. So guys, that is the end of the video. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you found it useful. I hope it's encouraged you. I hope it's inspired you to reach out to other fashion creatives in your area and collaborate with them. And I just want to say to everyone, don't sleep on Birmingham. You know, the talent is here. We are talented, we are good. Make sure that you go and check out all of these creatives. I have linked all of their details in the description box below. Feel free to share this video as well, and in the next video I will be discussing black fashion stylists from the UK, so make sure you tune in to watch that. Bye.